shot time.
Oh boy!
Welcome, guys, to another episode of Learning Trick Shots is a load of fun. This week, we got an interesting one for you. Setup's a little more difficult, but the overall shot is actually pretty simple. Pretty much anybody can do it, especially if you understand how to put, right or left spin on the cue ball. Setup is a little bit more complicated this week, but not that bad. It's an interesting shot. I've seen it come up in various ways throughout various matches. I actually used a variation of this shot and used the type of English and cutting a shot into a corner pocket in order to basically break into prison, where I had a ball that was completely surrounded by my opponent's balls and the 8-ball. And I used a shot similar to this to be able to break into it and open up that ball to where I was able to pocket it in a corner pocket and then get out of prison and going around the 8-ball to get set up on my last ball, and then take a reverse cut shot to drop the 8 in the same corner pocket. Kept my run alive, and I ended up getting a table run on that one when it didn't look like it was possible. So understanding the technique on how these shots come into play and how they work can oftentimes show itself in a game without even there being a trick shot present, but just knowing the techniques and how to shoot the shot can sometimes make a huge benefit to your game and keep a run out alive, like it did for me this past Wednesday night. So no more babbling on my part. I'm sure you guys are sick of hearing me talk already, but here we go. Let's go ahead and get into this trick shot and let y'all see what's going on. It's known as the clearing shot, and you'll understand why here in just a moment. All right. So as you can see, in this particular setup, one of the biggest things is right here. That 5 and that 7, their tangent line needs to be even with this second diamond or the middle diamond on the short rail. So you want the tangent lines there. Your 2-ball, the edge of it is going to be even with the center of the 9-ball. All right. The opposite edge of it is going to be even with the edge of the cue ball, which is basically going to be roughly about 1/2 to 3/4 of a diamond from the corner pocket. In the diagram, that's fine as well. Whatever you're feeling most comfortable with is what you're going to need to do with this. But the 2-ball is definitely off the rail, but the edge of it is even with the center of the 9-ball, because that's the ball you need to clear out of the way in order to make the 9-ball. And to see the execution actually take place, it's pretty cool. The cue ball does some things that doesn't look natural, and it's simply because you're putting this 11 o'clock, possibly even 10 o'clock English on the cue ball when you do this shot, and you're basically going to glance off the 2-ball so that the 2-ball goes into the rail and then pops out from in front of the 9-ball, and then cue ball will come over and hit the far rail right about there, and then spin back to actually make contact with the 7 ball. So you got this little action here, clipping this and then coming out, hitting the rail here, and then coming backwards to hit the 7 ball. It's a pretty wild looking effect, and that 9 ball drops right into that corner pocket. Just as the diagram is showing there. Like I said, depending on conditions, depending on how your table is playing, this 11 o'clock spin right here could actually need to go as far as 10 o'clock on it in order to pull the shot off. But you do want to have some top on it so that it has enough momentum to make it from the 2 ball hit contact point to this rail before it actually starts to curve or spin, or the spin takes hold. Otherwise, it's gonna throw the shot off and you won't make it. But yeah, you're basically just clipping the 2 ball just enough to get it to hit the rail and bounce out to get out of the way. So with that all said, I'll go ahead and play this video, let you take a look at it and see it for yourself. All right, we'll restart that so you can see it again. And there you have it, guys. That is this week's trick shot. Pretty simple. Setup is a little bit more complicated than it was last week, but overall the setup is still pretty simple, and the execution is pretty simple. But again, you're going to have to get used to the touch, the feel of the shot, practice it a little bit and make sure that you get it. Again, this kind of thing, like I said, came up in one of my games in my matches this past week during leagues, where I cut an object ball into the corner pocket with this very spin and crashed into that prison and opened up one of my object balls that allowed me to continue my run and get my table run out of it. Otherwise it would have come to an end real quick. But again, set this up, give it a shot, give it a try. You'll be surprised how many times that, you'll see something like that come up, and maybe even have the opportunity to do what I did and break out a ball that's in prison to keep your run alive. So make sure to like the video, leave a comment, subscribe, and make sure to hit that notification bell so you can catch the rest of the videos coming at you soon. All right, guys, you have a good one, and we will see you next week with another trick shot.